We have discussed many times in the past the problems of small industries, but the present is somewhat different from the previous occasions we meet today in the different situation, in a different climate, in very compelling circumstances where the supreme need of the hour seems to be the economic mobilization of the country to meet a growing and mounting emergency. So, sir, this hour makes a significant impact on any discussion that we undertake. I take it we are engaged in transforming an altogether peacetime economy into a wartime economy. This is an occasion when every sector of industry and trade should respond to the mounting and pressing demands of the growing emergency. The seriousness of the situation is that if we fail in the economic, we will also fail in the war effort and ultimately in the war itself. Therefore, there cannot be, to my mind, any neglect in any aspect of our economy. Sir, I would like to discuss this motion today in this background of economic mobilization, keeping in view the growing and enveloping emergency. There has been a tendency in the past to overrate the importance of big industries. Big industries are essential. Indeed, they are important. We cannot do without them, but in the process of overrating the importance of the big industries or of the small industries and the role that they have to play in the national economy. Sometimes, perhaps our friends may take it that small scale industries are not of much consequence, and if that tackling were still to persist in our minds, I must say it is very dangerous indeed, and we should avoid it. Sir, to me, small scale industries can play a very far reaching role in placing the economy of the country on an even level, whether in peacetime or in wartime. And the government and the various agencies that are set up by the government should provide proper facilities and create the conditions necessary for their growth. But what do we find today? What is the picture of small scale industries in India? I am afraid I have to be a bit critical of the state of affairs. In spite of the fact that some steps have been taken to repair the damage that was caused in the past. There have been in the past a variety of conferences and seminars and inquiries, and there has been a voluminous material built up, and also I admit that the ministry has shown all along boundless sympathy to small entrepreneurs. But unfortunately, the fact remains that small scale industries have not advanced even at the rate of the overall growth of the economy. This point has been missed on more than one occasion by government. May I say in this connection that in 1980 the proportionate share contributed by the small scale and cottage industries in the national income was 10%, whereas the corresponding figure in 2000 was only 8%. This means the growth of the economy, it has yet to develop the momentum needed for a successful offtake. Sir, the report of the Organizational Committee for Small Scale Industries submit in January 2002 certain recommendations, but I am afraid these recommendations do not go far. Perhaps the inquiry made by the committee was very narrow and limited. Perhaps it was meant to review mainly the functioning of the various agencies operating in this field. No doubt, I must admit that whatever the recommendations they have made are worthwhile, though in certain instances I must say that they are very vague. By most of the recommendations refer to administration and organizational matters, and they do not touch the fundamental problems facing the industry. Sir, before I deal with the fundamental problems, I would like to dilate upon a few recommendations for a while and point out how important even they are for the growth and expansion of the small sector. One important recommendations made is that each state should have an advisory committee to coordinate the activities of the center and the states. In the past, there was no machinery to bring such a coordination and demarcation of functions. Perhaps this lacuna will be filled up by setting up these advisory committees in the various states. They have also made a recommendation that each state should have a small industries corporation. One of the important functions of the corporation would be to regulate the supply of raw materials. As you know, one of the biggest problems of the small industries is that they do not get raw materials, and even if they get it, they do not get it in time, in adequate quantities, and at reasonable prices, and there is no assurance that the supply of raw material will be maintained regularly.